So one of the last things that we'll do with our drawings is actually get them ready for presentation. So we'll be putting them onto a page that's got a border around the outside and title blocks and other information, so they're presentable. Um, in Revit, we call that putting it in a sheet, and your sheets will be found in the View tab. So right in the middle here, we go into View, and then just to the right of that, we've got our sheet, and we can hold up our sheet one. So with this here, then the standard is to come up with an A1 metric. We can't print an A1 here at the college, so we need to go and load up our A3 version. So when we're into our dialog box, just go up a few levels until you get to the main one, and then all the way down the bottom, we've got our title blocks. In title blocks, and we want to pick out the A3 metric one. And once we've done that, click OK. And this is where we've got our sheet. So we've got a lot of information down the bottom here, which we can change and we need to change really. So the project's name, so this would be whatever the project's called. So it could be, I don't know, wood house. Off the top of my head, but there we go. The sheet would be the type of sheet that it's going to be. So for this one, we're going to go floor plans. So we'll call this one our floor plans. Into there. The client, whoever the client might be, this is, I don't know, good. Running off the top of my head. We also have our drawing numbers. This is be drawing A101, they stay the same. The scale, which is A3. We can start changing the dates. So the issue date, you can start putting that into there. You also start looking at the author. So this was by myself, so I've got my name in there. Who it would be checked by, so that would be myself as well. So I checked my own work, but it could be somebody else, and so on and so forth. So we can fill out some of these details down here. It's important that you do when you're actually producing your sheets, because that's the professional part of it. So once we've got those done, we can now start loading into our drawings. So this one's going to be floor plans, as we've said down there. So over here, I'm going to pull up my first floor with dimensions. So what I'm going to do is literally left click, hold it, and then drag it from there onto our sheet. And then you can see I can drop it into place there. So that's my first floor. I'm going to put my ground floor in as well. So I'm going to pick up the ground floor and drop that over there as well. In fact, what I might do is put that one up there and then move that one across. So I've got my ground floor on the left, because that to me feels a bit more natural. And then this one on the right over here. Now, when it comes up, you have these titles underneath. Some people like these. If you don't like them, I particularly don't like them, but if you do like them, you can keep those. If you don't like these titles here, again, we're going to go into our visibility graphics overrides over here, into edit, go into annotation categories, and it's right down the bottom here. So I've come down here to view titles. So I've just typed V to get the spin down at the bottom. I'm going to view titles. And when I click apply and OK, those titles disappear. If I want to put my own in there, I can go back to annotate. I can use text box, and I can open this up, and I can go ground floor, close. Again, if I want to change that, the size of that, click onto there, up here. I can change it up to 7 mil if I want it bigger, and so on and so forth. So you can play around with that, and you can make these however you want them to be. This is where you'd also write notes. So you could have a little text box down here, again, into annotate, text box. And you can write any notes about the drawing that would be in there as well. So they can be put into there as well. So that's how you do your sheets. Just literally open up the sheet and start dragging stuff across. You can also do the same with your elevations. We can actually put elevations in one place. So if we go back to view, go into sheet, A3 again, because that's what we use. So you can change all your items down here. You'll notice that some of them bits stay the same, some of it stays, some of it doesn't. So into here, this would be elevations. So with my elevations, I'm now going to start bringing in 4 elevations onto one page. So I'm going to have my east, my north. One thing you'll notice when you're doing this is it likes to line things up. You get this blue line. You can just see it clip in there. So it does try to help you line stuff up, center line, so you can keep stuff the same. So with this one here, you can see it's quite busy. I think it's quite busy with these different numbered views. So again, I'd get rid of those using the exactly same again, the visibility graphics overrides, back into edit, annotation, down into view titles, click on view titles and apply, and they'll disappear. Cleans it up and you can write your own ones in wherever you want, because those ones you can't move. The ones that were originally there, so I just go back and show you, these ones here, I can't move them about. If I want to move it around, it all just goes all over the place. It doesn't work nicely. So that's something you might want to play around with as well when you're working on these. And again, when you zoom in on these, you can see a lot more detail. Yep. One thing to note is if you want to change something on a drawing, you don't change it in the sheet, you go back to the original. So with this north elevation here, if I was to go back to north here and say get rid of that window, yes, that window's now gone on there, it will also disappear on that last sheet that we did. So I go back to my elevation sheet, can you see it's disappeared on there? So if you're making amendments in some of these, whether it's in these elevations or anywhere you like really, it will always change within the sheet as well.